Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with yet another story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for letting my boyfriend get a taste of his own medicine? No context there. I'm going NTA. Pop it up. My 29 female boyfriend, 27 male, has this habit of constantly calling me dumb or stupid. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Let's just go ahead and start it right there, huh? I'm not going to turn the red lights on because that'll just take us to Snap, Crackle, Pop Town. It started as a joke, and at first I laughed along, but over time it became his go-to way of addressing me, no matter the situation. I asked him, begged him to stop, especially in front of his friends, but he would just chuckle and say, "What? But you are dumb." His friends even picked it up, and now they casually call me dumb too. It's humiliating. Man, I bet that makes him feel like a real big man. I started avoiding his social gatherings because I knew I'd just be the butt of their jokes. Whenever I told him how much it bothered me, he'd just say I was being too sensitive and that it was just a joke. Roso. I'm just going to wave this while reading. Last night, I hosted a party with my work colleagues. It was important to me because I work in a competitive field and many of my coworkers are incredibly accomplished. I introduced my boyfriend to everyone, hoping he would be on his best behavior. But of course, he wasn't. Barely an hour in, he started the dumb comments again. My close work friends are used to me venting about this, but one of my senior colleagues, an incredibly sharp, no-nonsense woman, was clearly unimpressed. She turned to him and said, "Hey, you are a guest here, and you do realize who you're talking to, right? Maybe cut the dumb comments." He just laughed like the way he always does. Then later in the evening, I accidentally dropped my drink while reaching for it, and right on cue, he loudly called me dumb again. That's when my senior completely shut him down. You know, everyone in this room has either an advanced degree, multiple certification, or years of experience in their field, including her, who's one of the smartest and most competent people I've worked with. The only person here without those credentials is you. So if we're talking about intelligence, you're the least qualified person to judge. Oh, gosh, I freaking love it. Dead silence. For the first time ever, my boyfriend had nothing to say. He went completely red and barely spoke for the rest of the night. When we got home, he was livid. He said that I should have defended him, that I let my colleague humiliate him, and that what she said was unnecessary and cruel. I just looked at him and said, "So now you know how it feels." He's sulking and acting like I'm the bad guy. For what it's worth, my senior later apologized to him before leaving, saying she didn't mean to be harsh, but was just looking out for me. Now he's acting like I betrayed him, but I can't bring myself to feel bad. After years of him publicly embarrassing me, wasn't it fair for him to finally experience what he put me through? Am I the astronaut? Hell no, you are not the astronaut. That is a big ol' NTA. Also, why are you still with this guy? Huh? If somebody gets their jollies by calling you dumb, and it's their go-to, and if particularly they do this in front of other people to somehow make themselves feel bigger or to show off in front of his friends that you're just his dumb woman and try to put you down to make himself feel bigger, why are you with him? There have to be some redeeming qualities in here. The rest of your relationship has to be just sunshine and rainbows, because staying with someone who just puts you down constantly can't be something that you're happy about. You can't wake up in the morning and be like, "I'm glad I chose this guy." People stay in relationships for all kinds of terrible reasons. I understand. Like there are reasons that this is still happening, but OP is like, "I'm glad he finally got a taste of his own medicine." And I'm like, yeah, that's a taste. But this whole time he's been doing it and you're still there, just taking it. Yeah, you speak up and you're like, "Hey, I really don't like it." And he's like, "You're overreacting. You're being too sensitive. It's just a joke," which you should have regurgitated right back in his face and be like, "You're being too sensitive. You're overreacting." Throwing it right back at him so he could feel what you feel whenever he spits that shit at you. But also, why stay? Help me out here, chat. Help me out here, Candy Thunder. Why stay? You know what? Let's bring her up. I haven't got to bring her up yet. Let's do that. Tater Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. Not going to go red lights because I don't want to introduce Snap, Crackle, and Pop here, but I need some Candy Thunder feedback. I need help. I need help figuring out why. Tater Thunder, ladies and gentlemen.
So that he feels like the bigger person is probably why. Because he knows that he's not as intelligent as her, which the colleague pointed out. But when this happened on the way home, when he was bitching about his experience, I would have grabbed his hand just for theatrical effect and said, "You're being too sensitive." and then thrown it down and said, "F you, we're over." Because I hope she's right now an ASCON 3 to herself, because she just doesn't, she's staying in this, allowing someone to put her down and make her feel less than, when she knows that that's not who she is. She knows that she's not dumb. She knows that she's not stupid. And she's allowing someone who's supposed to love her to do these things to her. And so for me, she sucks so bad because she's allowing herself to go through that. She's allowing herself to, because eventually you're going to start believing that shit, because eventually you're not wanting to hang out with him. You're not wanting to be with him. So what the f is he doing in your life? Like what is he bringing to the table in this relationship that makes you want to stay? But he needs help. He needs some actual life help, like a life coach that can make him feel like more of a person, because putting other people down to make yourself feel like the bigger person is childish bullshit that he should have outgrown. But she should also have outgrown being in a relationship where your person doesn't value you. And so I think he's an asshole, obviously. Like, he can off. But I hope that she believes in herself enough to leave this relationship and never go back to someone that treats her like this.
You're right. So I didn't really think about this, but first of all, he learned this somewhere. He learned that this behavior was okay from somewhere, and maybe this is how he grew up, and his dad treated his mom like this, and he was like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But also, he valued her so little that even when she opposed, he didn't care. And he just kept coming back with it. So he doesn't value you at all, OP.
Right. I think if someone tells you like over and over again that you're being too sensitive, and they tell you that your feelings aren't valid every single time you bring up a problem, you're with the wrong person. Because even if you are being overly sensitive to a subject, a person that loves you and wants to be your partner is going to walk through that with you. They're not going to make you feel like you're an idiot for having these feelings, which she's not. But to be made to feel like you should be okay with being called dumb. You should be okay. And where does it end? Dumb, stupid. I mean, what's next? What else is he going to make you feel bad about?
Right.
So I think being with someone that belittles you is just the opening to whatever else, however else he wants to put you down in whatever way. Or her too. I mean, it could be woman or man.
I can't imagine doing this to you. I can't imagine you doing this to me. I can't imagine any of the couples that we know doing this to each other.
No.
And staying together. I can't imagine them doing that and it not being received with just absolute disgust by everyone involved, including their partner. It's a huge loogie of disrespect.
That's a good way to put it. No, and I don't think we would surround ourselves with people who did treat anyone this way, really. Friends, significant others, like those are people that wouldn't deserve to be in our lives.
Yeah.